Hey, all, welcome to my channel. I'm just going to talk very quickly about the New York Knicks. I'm not going to talk about the playoffs right now. I'll talk about that in another video. This is more of a case where the draft happened, basically, as you saw. If for those that didn't see, um, Knicks got nothing as a result. Quite honestly, they got nothing. I mean, the first 14 picks is number one, of course, San Antonio. Number two, Charlotte. Number three, Portland. Four, Houston. Five, Detroit. Six, Orlando. Seven, Indiana. Eight, Washington. Nine, Utah. 10, Dallas. And of course, 11, Orlando, which is from Chicago. And then 12, Oklahoma City. And 13, Toronto. And 14, New Orleans. Not the best for the Knicks, considering that they have no draft picks at all for this year at all. I mean, considering that they trade quite a number of picks, some of their picks for, players and whatnot, essentially. I mean, like the 15th pick. I mean, from the 27th pick, essentially, and even the 23rd pick, for that matter. The 23rd pick, the Knicks traded to Portland to get Hart, their first round pick, and I'm like, all right, that might have been a little bit of a no. Now looking back, I mean, I'm like, damn, that was maybe a mistake. Of course, Charlotte getting the 27th pick from New York and Oklahoma City because of the trade that they had done back in the past, and then of course in the second round pick, well, Charlotte again gets one of New York's pick because New York had it from Utah, and then they gave it to Charlotte as well too. And the same thing with 41, where they got from Oklahoma City, who got from New York and Boston. I mean, the Knicks gave up quite a large draft capital for this year, as well as the 53rd pick, which New York gave to Charlotte, who gave it to Minnesota at that point. Um, can the Knicks come out of this with someone to draft? I don't know, because honestly, I think Portland's a little pissed off to the point like they only got the third pick, and Damian Lillard has basically said like, look, I'm not willing to work with another young guy. I need veterans now. I need to win now. So look for Portland to trade that pick, of course. I mean, either Portland's going to trade that pick for some serious veteran leadership, or veteran leadership with some draft capital at that point too. And this is where I think maybe the Knicks can work perfectly in this and work perfectly with the Knicks. They can trade Randall for that third pick and maybe one of their draft capitals that they have for future first rounders from either uh, Dallas, Washington, Charlotte, and I forgot the fourth one. One of those four basically. Where and Dallas, Washington, where Dallas they could trade that pick. I think they could give them Dallas's pick. I would love to give them next year's 25th pick. The 2025 draft capital they have from Dallas. Give that off and package that off with uh, um, with Randall to Portland. Because I mean, I don't, I like Randall, but we saw what he did in the playoffs. He's good in the regular season. Playoffs, he sucks. Maybe he does really well with Portland, helps out Lillard at that point, and to the point where like Damian then can take over in the playoffs arena. I think the Knicks should trade him for the number three pick if they could get the number three pick. I mean, they've already traded. Hell, they already traded pretty much. What's his face? They already traded. Yeah, Cam Newton and their draft pick for Josh Hart. So trade him off. I would say trade him. You know what? Trade him off and maybe Fournier too. If they can get trade off, yeah, I would trade off Fournier, and if they can get that number three pick for Fournier and Randall, perfect. Solves a lot of problems for the Knicks at that time. I mean, don't want to lose Derrick Rose, still that veteran that helps out in the long term, and plus I don't think he could work really well with Damian Lillard. Quite honestly, and honestly too, you could trade him off to Portland, but I don't think he wants to go. I think he wants to stick with Tom Thibodeau. Seems like he accepts this role and wants this role basically. So I'm like, okay. So if the Knicks can trade for that, that'd be great. Honestly, I think it comes down to this: do you resign Josh Hart? I think you might have to. Do you trade Randall? You definitely have to. Do you maybe use Mitch Robinson for trade capital or trade bait for another big man at that point? Maybe a better big man. It's unknown. I would say, yeah, strong possibility, specifically for Anthony Towns. If you can get Towns, works perfectly for the Knicks at that point. The question is then if you got Towns, what do you do with Toppin then? Toppin could play that power forward guard. I mean, to the point where like he can be offensive. He's just got to bulk up. And I say one of the things is basically with Brunson as your cornerstone, have Bill Toppin and Barrett as the complements to Brunson. Those two can work together, and Toppin is too talented. I mean, quite honestly, he's got that raw talent that I think Thibodeau can. Well, I don't. I'm hoping Thibodeau can. Someone can like basically mold him and use him. Like he can become an all star. Barrett close to that all star level. He's almost at that level. I think hopefully this year, this playoff, builds him up to the point that gives him that confidence and makes him work on his game to get better at that point as well too. If those two, if next year these two don't work really well, then at that point and they're like on the cusp of, but they don't get to it, you might as well trade them off because they're not going to get to that cusp and then go beyond that cusp. Brunson has proved otherwise that he's done. He's a great pick. He was a great pickup for the Knicks, and he should be kept. And then of course you got it Quickly and Grimes. Between the two, I don't know what you do. Honestly, maybe you trade off Grimes and keep Quickly. We saw how Quickly was much better than Grimes. Grimes is much more of a defensive player than an offensive threat. Quickly was more of an defensive person, then became more of an offensive threat. If anything, honestly, I would trade Grimes because I don't think we need Grimes. I don't think we definitely need Quickly. He plays a big factor into the game. He helps out in the long term. Grimes would have worked really well, but I think you trade him off to another team. Basically, he might have been good with under Calipari's program, but honestly, I don't think he works really well. You trade him off at that point. Same thing with Fournier. Like I said, you get rid of. Brunson, you keep. Hartenstein, I don't know what you do with him, basically. If you're trading off Robinson, then you got to keep him off. But in any case, I'll leave it at that. Let me know what you guys think about that. Again, if you enjoy my content, please leave your comments in the comment section, like or dislike. It's up to you. I do read my comments. And if you enjoy my content and my channel or don't like it but still like to view my videos, I ask that you please subscribe if you haven't subscribed. And also, the more likes I get, the more I'll focus on this content. The more dislikes I get, then I'll not focus on the Knicks. Or to dislike it to the point of like you don't like the content, or just don't the way I'm doing things. If you don't like the way I'm doing things, please leave it in the comment section. I welcome feedback and I welcome open criticism. I'm open to criticism, so I'll keep it at that. But with that, I'll leave it at that. Unfiltered, unedited, and unrehearsed. Until next time.